Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about actually creating a budget, and it's really simple, really easy, doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's more of just sitting down and getting it done. So what I'm going to do is kind of break down creating a budget into 3 different steps just to help the process go smoother. So the first step, I will show you how to track your budget. The second step is we're going to look at the big picture, and then the third step, we're going to break it down a little bit further. So the first step is, how are you actually going to track your budget? And there are a couple of different ways that I've used in the past. And actually currently I use 2 ways that I track my budget. One way that you can actually track your budget is getting an actual budget planner. And I actually use this in conjunction with YNAB just when I want to write down a few thoughts and things of that nature. I actually have erasable pens that I also use with this book, so when I want to make changes or I have an idea or I'm trying to flush something out, I will use that in conjunction with this planner and YNAB. Next, my favorite budgeting software is YNAB, which you will see in videos previous to this one, in upcoming videos. This is my main way of budgeting. And I'm always putting things in here, updating things, tweaking things, changing things on a constant basis, because my budget evolves from month to month, sometimes from week to week. So I have to make those changes. So if you want to try YNAB for 34 days for free, make sure you check the description links below for that free access. Another way to do it is just use a simple Excel spreadsheet. There are plenty of videos out here on YouTube and then on the internet that will show you how to create a budget into an Excel spreadsheet. And you actually can do this through Microsoft Word, and also Google Docs has a version of Excel that you can use to keep up with your information if you want to have it on the go. And then the last and easiest way is just pen and paper. So I actually have the Rocketbook notebooks, which are erasable notebooks that I also use with my erasable pens to kind of jot down things. And when I first started making out a budget, this was the way that I did. I took a simple piece of paper, wrote down what I was going to do with it, what I needed to categorize, and then I went to put it on paper and then put it into YNAB just so I could flush out some ideas for myself. So now here we are at step 2. We need to look at the big picture of an actual budget. So the first thing we want to do is figure out how much income we're bringing in every month. So basically all you need to do is go gather your paychecks from all your income sources and figure out what your actual total take-home pay after taxes and everything of that nature is that you have to spend on your expenses every month. So here I just created kind of a simple example of what this would be if I worked in a hospital and brought home $500 a week. There's typically 4 weeks in a month, so I would bring home $2,000 per month from the hospital. If I had a side hustle of working at a daycare every week, I brought in $100 extra. 4 weeks that are typically in a month, that's an extra $400 per month that I bring home. So my total income would be about $2,400. Next, we need to look at how we're going to break down our expenses. First, I like to start off with like our fixed expenses. These are the big things like food, housing, auto, debt, really big, broad categories. So once you actually figure out what your big, broad categories are, you want to split up how much money you want to give from your income to each one. So I broke it down like this. I have $2,400 in income. So I'm going to bring in $600 for food. Housing, I'll do about $1,000. Auto, $500. And then I want to pay off some debt. So I'll bring in $400 for that. So I always want to make sure that the expenses I have go out equal the income that I'm bringing in. If I am spending more than I'm making, we need to make adjustments. So next we'll go into step 3, and then we're going to break down those broad categories even further. And this is what's going to take time, with you having to track expenses and seeing what you're really spending money on, and then kind of break it down from those examples. I've taken my food category and broken it down to dining out and groceries. Housing, I've put in electric and internet. And then auto, I put in gas and repairs. And these are just a few things to start thinking about when you want to break your budget down even further. So going back into our example, you see I've had our broad categories of food, housing, auto, and debt. Then I broke it down even further to dining. And when you're breaking down your categories, make sure whatever you put into those categories equals the amount that you want to spend. So for like dining and groceries under our food budget, I wanted to spend $400 on dining out and $200 on groceries. And it still equals the $600 that I want to budget for my food budget each month. And then we go down to housing. And as you see here, we have electric, internet, rental insurance, and cable. And I've given each one of these a number I would like to stay within each month. But over here in cable, I don't have anything there because it has been this budget of $1,000 I've given myself for housing expenses. I don't have any extra money based on the way that my current budget is set up to go into cable. So now I need to start thinking about where I could cut back if I really need cable. And if I really need it, where are we going to find the money to pay for a cable expense every month? And that is kind of how you continue to work your budget down. You break it down for each section of your life, the things that you want, need, and you kind of figure out what's the most important. And that's how you should structure your budget. And it should all stay under $2,400 every month based on this example, because that's all that we have coming in. Now, if you're spending more of that on credit cards just to get by, that just indicates that we need to take a closer look at what we're actually spending money on, what we're budgeting for, and what we need to correct to accomplish the goals that we have set for ourselves. And that's it, guys. That's as simple as I can make it as far as creating a budget, just something to get started with to help you with your personal finance journey or your journey at FI or whatever you're actually using your budget for. So make sure you check the description below for links to special services that I use like YNAB, and for products that I use like the budgeting journal and the erasable pens that I really love. Also, make sure you leave a comment. I do respond to my comments because I like to see if there's anything I should know about or anything that you would like to have videos on. But that's it for now. Until next time, make